A new party at the helm following elections in the British Virgin Islands. And in sport, the West Indies head coach looking for a greater team effort going into the fourth ODI against England. I'm Ricardo Roberts and this is Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, February 26, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Unbelievable. Look at this water. It's like you're in the Caribbean. So come to Ipswich, get a hotel, go to the bed and breakfast, go get a roast beef sandwich over Pomodoros. Do what you're gonna do, but this is unbelievable. Oh no, wait, we are in the Caribbean. Oh my God, that's a good fish. You got another one? Hey, Stevie the Striper.
With where we're from, we can grab a stalk of sugar cane and get the sugar that we need from that sugar cane through juice or tea or the raw sugar. That's where our sugar source comes from. In the Caribbean and of that region, when we want juice, it's more of a carrot juice or a beet juice, or we're juicing all of that which is wonderful and nutritious from the soil.
A new party has taken over in the British Virgin Islands after winning more than half of the 13 seats up for grabs in yesterday's general elections. Official election returns results released by Supervisor of Elections Juliet Penn show the Virgin Islands Party, or VIP, led by Andrew A. Faye, won 8 seats in the House of Assembly, while the incumbent National Democratic Party managed to retain 3 seats. The Progressive Virgin Islands Movement and Progressives United took 1 each. The general election was the first one in the BVI to use electronically tabulated voting instead of manual counting. The polls were held early after Premier Dr. Orlando Smith decided to forego a by-election for the 5th electoral district following the death of the representative for the area. Smith did not contest yesterday's polls. He had indicated in June last year that he would be stepping down and not returning for office again. CARICOM leaders began their 30th intersessional meeting in St. Kitts today with a blistering condemnation of the financial services policies of the European Union and reiterating that Venezuela alone must find a lasting solution to the ongoing political and economic crisis. Host Prime Minister and CARICOM Chairman Dr. Timothy Harris said the continuous addition of onerous requirements by the EU to comply with new regulations is tantamount to cruel and unusual punishment. He charged that the EU and its member states are going well beyond the regulations and requirements of the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. Now, regarding the unfolding situation in Venezuela, the CARICOM chairman said the 15-member regional grouping would maintain its position of non-interference. Opposition leader Juan Guaido, who has declared himself interim president, is leading the effort to remove President Nicolas Maduro from office, and he has the backing of the United States and several other Western countries. Harris said CARICOM could be justifiably proud of its stance and efforts to help the people of Venezuela resolve their crisis.
I have no doubt in my mind that the principled position taken by CARICOM, working with like-minded countries, has prevented so far a catastrophe on our borders. We will continue to urge that dialogue is the only way to achieve a lasting solution.
Over in Trinidad and Tobago now, opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar is concerned about government's move to register Venezuelan nationals in the country. Now, last week, National Security Minister Stuart Young announced that government was reviewing a policy that would allow Venezuelans in the country, both legally and illegally, to come forward to be registered, with the possibility of working up to 1 year in the Twin Island Republic. But as we hear in this CNC3 News report, Persad-Bissessar has some concerns about the Elections and Boundaries Commission having any involvement in the process.
I became extremely disturbed when I heard Minister Moses answering a question in the Parliament and saying that the EBC would be involved in helping to prepare some kind of registration card. I totally object to the EBC having any part to play in registering any refugees.
Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar says it was a frightening development considering that 2 elections are impending. However, National Security Minister Stuart Young said at no time has he or the government indicated that its proposed registration of Venezuelan nationals will involve the EBC. In fact, he described it as an irresponsible statement by the opposition leader. Minister Dennis Moses is in St. Kitts and Nevis for the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, and we were unable to reach him. Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar was speaking with reporters in her constituency for its annual Kiddies Carnival. She expressed concern about the ongoing crisis in the South American nation, saying if war breaks out, it will impact this country directly.
We do believe that we should take steps to end the humanitarian crisis there. To just sit and talk and recognize, you're saying you're not intervening, but you are in effect recognizing the regime.
Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar reiterated her call that there should be fresh elections in Venezuela.
And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Welcome back. It's now time for sport. West Indies interim head coach Richard Pybus says the Caribbean men will hope to use their next assignment in the Tri-Nations Series in Ireland and their tour of the UK to polish up areas of concern before the World Cup. Now, West Indies have levelled the current ODI series against England and will be hoping for a win in the 4th ODI tomorrow. Now, speaking after the aborted 3rd ODI, Pybus says he expects to see a greater team effort in the next assignments.
I think we're very clear on what we need to work on. So, ideally in this series, you want to win every game. We want to win the series. We're clear on that. It doesn't necessarily work out like that in the real world. So, but we know what we need to work on, and we're not really too hung up on the outcomes. I think coming out of the series, being clear, we've got a triangular in Ireland. There'll be a few lads away at the IPL. So I think we'll have a very strong sense of having been able to assess where we are, what we need to polish up in Ireland, and any key last steps in the UK before the World Cup.
So you say very clear.
Pybus was also happy to see Andre Russell return to the squad.
It's great having him in the setup. Obviously, he's one of a kind. Adds greater depth. We've got some great all-rounders in the squad, and that's always lovely because that's competition for spots. So that keeps everybody honest.
And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Until then, good afternoon.